Hi friends! Today I'm going to show you how to make this miniature Monstera plant. I'm starting with a piece of cardstock from my scrap pile. This acrylic paint is probably 8 years old and it's very stiff and boogery, but for me making miniatures is all about using up old craft supplies. This paper will be my leaves, so I'm painting in a bunch of different directions and not really fully mixing the paint to try to get good depth and texture. After that's dry, you can start cutting strips. You want each strip to be a little bit bigger than the final width of your leaf. I know this paint looks crazy, but I need you to trust the process. Fold your first strip in half and press down on the ridge to make sure you get a nice deep crease. A bone folder would be really great here, but I have no idea where mine is, so scissors will have to do. Now you're going to cut out hearts sort of like you did as a little kid to make valentines. This is more or less the leaf shape we want. I think my first one turned out a little funny, but the other ones were good. I didn't cut close enough to the fold on the first leaf. I would go deeper if you want a true Monstera leaf. You can be as fussy or as unfussy as you'd like about the leaves. The nice thing about miniatures is once everything's in place, it doesn't really matter that it's not exactly the thing. It's more about being a convincing idea of the thing. I like to use as much household trash as possible for my miniatures, so this plant pot is actually a disassembled serum bottle. I'm stabilizing my plants in the bottom of the pot with a little bit of air dry clay. I am truly sorry if there are any florists watching, but I thrifted this floral tape and I am definitely not licensed to drive this thing. My stems are all floral wire that came off of really ugly thrifted fake flowers. Sometimes you find a bag for cheap, and it's always nice to grab it and be able to repurpose it for something. I'm not working from a reference photo right now, but I think I can kind of guesstimate how many stems belong on each plant. I wish I could tell you that these aren't my sewing scissors. I really wish I could tell you that. I feel pretty good about this first stem, but I usually plant my Monsteras 2 or 3 to a pot, so I'm going to give it a friend. Okay, I feel pretty good about how this is looking. Now let's cover up that clay in our plant pot. I'm adding a thin line of super glue around the edge of my pot. It won't stick to the wet clay anyways. This is some reindeer lichen for crafting that I got at the thrift store. As a biologist, I feel it is my duty to tell you that you probably shouldn't go harvesting your own lichen unless you know how to do it responsibly. If you don't like the look of the reindeer lichen or you don't have any, you can also do some interesting things here with brown acrylic paint and sand or some other gritty substance. Some people use salt to make sort of a fake dirt mix. Just a friendly reminder that touching super glue does in fact get super glue all over your fingerprints. So if you use your fingerprint to unlock your devices, I hope you remember your password after this project. Or you could just listen to all of the warnings on the back of the bottle and not touch it at all. I'm a rebel, baby. Some of the paint on my leaves is a little bit sparse, but I'm going to touch that up when they're all glued on. Next time I do this, I will absolutely make sure to use gel super glue. This is the liquid kind, and it's just a little bit fiddlier to stick things with, especially since one of my surfaces is round. But this is what I had on hand, and I didn't feel like making a run. So just a tip if you're shopping for this project, look for the gel super glue. So now I'm mixing up more paint, and I'm just going to touch up the areas where I can see a lot of white from cutting out the shapes, and to also try to blend the stems together a little bit because right now they're like three different colors. Again, you don't have to be super precise, it's sort of up to you how detailed you get with these. Here it is in place. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe for more tutorials.